Well, hello, my beautiful Cancerians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I've sourced a softer frequency to prepare and cleanse your reading. I'm using Gaia chimes to cleanse hourly, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Cancerians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask, how are you doing? So this reading will tap into what's going on with you right now and how you're moving through this time period, and of course what lies on the other side. Now, I'm shuffling the deck. The cards pop out as they must, and of course that means I do not choose the cards for you. So this reading, it may not resonate with everyone, of course, but I have to honor the message that comes out, the meaning of the cards, and the energy that I channel in the reading with my guides. Okay, so let us begin. Thank you so much, spirit guides, great angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Cancerians? What do they need to know at this time? Can you please show them the way? What are my beautiful Cancerians going through in this present moment? The first card there is the King of Pentacles. You are searching for security in your world. You are serious about creating a life of sanctuary, of support for those that you really care about. And of course, a lot of you are focused on financial security at this time, but I feel like you're practical, trying to make your life work for you. But you may feel that life got a little bit serious along the way, and you may feel that you are laden with responsibility at this time. Now, of course, we have the Nine of Swords crossing you, and this can be intruding thoughts coming in there. For some of you, it can be that you are a little bit nervous about something in particular. I mean, it's crossing the King of Pentacles, so this can indicate some of you worry about finances or security in life in general, in relationships, in your current circumstances. Your personal circumstances there is what I'm seeing more than anything, especially since, yeah, 8 of Swords. 8 is the number of the self. So a lot of you, it can be that you're looking at thoughts and these intruding thoughts that come in to threaten your security or make you worry about the what if circumstances. I mean, the 8 of Swords is the earthly plane position, and 8 of Swords can indicate a self-imposed restriction or a worry that plays out in our mind and haunts us about the worst case scenario, as it were, of any situation. So please apply it to your circumstances. You know, I feel that a lot of you may be contemplating something new in your life, and you are trying to be really serious and structured and maybe strategically think about the worst case scenario so you can prepare for it. So whatever it is that's new, with that Ace of Wands there, this could be like a spark of chemistry between you and a person. It could also be like a new creative endeavor or a new way of living. A lot of you could be going through some serious enlightenment, and you're seeing things differently, and it's making you feel a bit nervous or worried that certain structures that perhaps have been in place for some time, it's like you're seeing through these things and you're like, oh my gosh, has it always been this way? And of course, intuitively, because you are a very intuitive person, I feel like you normally see through the undercurrent of life, as it were. But it could be that lots of things are transforming at this time and you're like, oh my gosh, where is this headed? What's going on there? So we have the Devil card in your near future position. So this can indicate obsession, okay? Obsession with thoughts, because you have a lot of swords here. So this can indicate that sometimes those thoughts get a little bit critical. And also it can indicate that you, I felt the world there in the energy. I should have said it, but I didn't, so I can't call it. But the World card is in your spread. So this tells me that a lot of you could be worried about the trajectory of the world, where it's headed. I mean, some of you with that King of Pentacles, you could be worried economically about things shifting and your position in all of that and how you feel secure, okay? But looking at the energy, the Chariot indicates you move through any challenging times. You're very flexible and you're a very strong person. You show up for yourself, you know, you're structured, and I feel like you're in a really good position to weather any changes in your life. And actually, I see that there's nothing to worry about, but we will tap into the energy in a moment just to see what else this is about. For some of you, there's two kings here, okay? And this can represent a relationship dynamic. It can be between two people, okay? It doesn't have to be, you know, this spread, it's basically aspects of self, but because there's two people here, as in two court cards, this can indicate that you worry about somebody, or you are concerned about the dynamic of the relationship that you have with this person. Perhaps you feel like either you are outgrowing this person or there's a distance with this person, because these are two very detached cards, okay? And it can indicate that you're removing yourself from this dynamic or protecting yourself from this dynamic because you can feel the distance, and it's like a protective measure. But I would say here that this person, they see you and they will notice that you are distancing yourself. I feel ultimately this person will understand with that King of Pentacles energy that you're just doing it as a protective measure, okay? And I feel that, of course, there will be a very open, honest conversation if you're dealing with a person where accountability is taken, but also, you know, responsibility for actions and consequences. And I feel like with that Six of Wands, you could like overcome something there. There could be a success or a breakthrough moment in a relationship if you're dealing with someone who has been very challenging or triggering. Now, I'm going to start with your first card, but I want you to be aware, because there is this energy, if you're being triggered by somebody, okay, or even a circumstance or an experience, you know, often to heal, you know, we all search for healing in certain situations. A healer is often the person who triggers you, you know, for you to tap into your own ability to heal yourself, okay? So sometimes people are sent into our life on purpose in order to press those buttons so that we can acknowledge what has to be healed or really looked at, identified, and processed so we can move away from it, move forward from it. So I feel a lot of you have been acknowledging that in your life right now. But the first card there is the King of Pentacles, and this is your starting position, and that is the heart of the matter of your spread. And that card is basically saying, am I secure in my circumstances? Is there longevity? Is there, you know, protection in all the changes that are going on around you at this present moment in time? So this is you taking responsibility for your life. You know, King energy is quite a serious energy. It can indicate that you have a lot of experience, you're maturing, you've gained a lot of knowledge, you really see people, you understand their body language, their motives. It can indicate that, you know, you didn't get this far in life to only come this far, that a lot of you are focused on your projects and you're trying to trust and have faith in the invisible realms to help you manifest what it is that you want in the physical form on the earthly plane, because this can indicate that you're the sort of person who can find opportunity anywhere, even when there is none. Okay, so you're a pretty secure person in yourself. You're very self-sufficient. I feel like you are someone who's very independent, but sometimes you may be plagued with doubt, or you may be plagued with intrusive thoughts. Okay, now this may not resonate with everyone. Nine of Swords can indicate some of you are haunted by a previous experience there, and it can have transformed the way that you like look at life, for example, and you're protecting yourself in some way, because the Eight of Swords is a mode of protection. And I feel that you're going to be conquering these thoughts, especially since the Six of Wands is you heralding a moment where you're like, you know what, I got this, I've commanded my thoughts. You have the King of Swords, which means you're not allowing these thoughts to tear you down. You're really looking honestly at a situation and building yourself up rather than tearing yourself down. So I feel a lot of you, there is this call to shift a negative self-talk that actually there's nothing to really worry about, but sometimes we do think of the worst case scenario. We do catastrophize what could happen, like if it all went wrong, for example. But I see with your outcome with the Six of Wands, it's all going to go right. That is a very positive card. It's a celebration card, and it means, you know, that you shall either step into some sort of influencing position where you will be inspired to take charge or transform. But whatever it is, the outcome is for your highest good. And you know, for some of you, the Nine of Swords can also indicate, especially crossing the King of Pentacles, that life is hard, okay? You've had to be someone who is invested in your life 2,000,000%. I feel like you're bringing your A game in life, no matter what it is that you do, okay? I feel like you invest your whole heart and soul into everything, and you may be looking at investment in this time period where you're looking at relationships and dynamics of circumstances to see if there's reciprocity there. But I do see there's something on your mind. The Nine of Swords can indicate that you might be at capacity right now and feeling overloaded, exhausted, mentally, physically drained there. So it could be also that, you know, you're working really hard, and sometimes the pressure of running life has given you migraines, for example, because this can be a migraine card there. I'm actually seeing someone in the water, really random. I scry at the same time as doing your reading. I'm seeing someone putting their hands in the air, like really raising the hands, and I'm being given this energy of, oh, okay, of lymphatic drainage. So some of you may have started doing some exercises with like arms in the air and jumping or something to shift some of the energy or shift the like lymphatic drainage system in order to manage cortisol levels, stress levels, because actually this is a stress card. I didn't even think of it like that, but that's what I'm seeing in the water. So some of you may have come across this exercise, or perhaps this is something you're thinking about at this time, to manage stress levels and really kind of like take stock of some of the cortisol levels that could be raising up. You have the Devil card there, so a lot of you could be actually looking at things that are maybe toxic, or, you know, things that you connect to that perhaps cause a migraine, for example. You know, for example, if I have like too many cups of coffee, then of course I know on a slippery slope towards a migraine, okay? And plus I'd be buzzing all the way down the street, to the fact that I'd probably be flying because it'd be too much caffeine, okay? So it depends on how your body processes things, because this is a body card. You know, whenever you get an earthly card there, the King of Pentacles is the highest earth card that you can have there. And it can indicate that right now you're focused on your bodily needs, and you're noticing that you've been under a lot of pressure. Perhaps you've been thinking about, when you're under pressure, do you reach for the quick fix? Okay, is there something here that's been draining your energy, whether it's a person or a circumstance, and you've been meaning to cut it out, but sometimes it's tempting to really connect to it? You know, we all do it. I'm not pointing a finger at you there, but it could be that something is getting critical at this point, where you're noticing it really is tipping into, you know, an area where it's hurting you. So, for example, you know, if this is a substance or a food item that you're intolerant to, you're noticing more of a reaction to it, because the Devil is a very reactionary card. It can indicate that with that Eight of Swords, you're deciding to protect yourself from this right now, and you know deep down that it is a trigger or a cause for some sort of reaction that you're not happy with. And the Nine of Swords, it's like, okay, I know sometimes I'm tempted to either have that item, or this could be a person. For some of you, there's maybe a person who's on your mind who triggers you, and maybe you feel the need to cut this person out of your life or distance yourself from something that has been causing you pain, anxiety, or fear. Okay, the Nine of Swords can be a haunted by the past kind of card. So this could also be a circumstance that you connected to in the past that you feel like you wasted time with. For example, you've got the Ace of Wands here and the Devil card. It can be that you connected to someone, especially with that King of Swords, that was very detached, emotionally unavailable, someone who physically was very attracted to you. I mean, I feel this person was avoiding their feelings. They may have had feelings for you, and they were just very confused about their path, and they were very indecisive, wishy-washy, inconsistent, and it can indicate that you regret giving your time to that, or not seeing your value in that dynamic, and wishing that you could have disconnected from this a lot quicker and not wasted your time. But each experience we have, it teaches us a lesson, both good, bad, and ugly. I hate to say that, but we all, we learn things through experience in life, and I've certainly experienced a lot of ugly things going on in my life also in the past, but I needed those lessons in order to see the value in myself, to say, no, I'm not accepting that behavior anymore. This is what it is that I want, and this is my time, it's my life, and I got to honor those dynamics in my life. So a lot of you could have a lot on your mind like right now, and these thoughts are very intrusive. It's almost like it's correcting you in some way. And I hate to use that word because there's no sort of right or wrong kind of way of living life, right? It's in accordance to your own rules, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But I'm getting this energy of almost like some of you trying to correct yourself. So it could be that I'm seeing like the elastic band theory for some of you. So for example, if you're having negative thoughts, it could be that you are catching yourself at it and then like pinging the elastic band to like stop you in your tracks and almost like correct your thoughts, so that you can have more command over those intrusive thoughts. For some of you, it could also be if you're reaching for something that is the quick fix, a sugary treat, for example, nice occasionally. We're all allowed whatever we want, really, but in moderation, because the body will find it hard to break certain things down. So because the Devil card is there, it can be either toxicity or things that perhaps the body finds really hard to process, because you are starting with a body card. I wouldn't mention this if you didn't have those cards right there in the center of this reading. But also I feel you are now on a personal level more secure within your life, and you value yourself. You may have had experiences where people did not see your value, but you're making sure that you're not that person, okay? And I feel with that Nine of Swords, it is in the crossing position, so it can indicate that you're turning like intrusive thoughts around, but also it can be that some of you are in a period of recovery from something. Now, for some of you, this could be recovery in a like step process. So for example, if there was substance abuse there, addiction, for example, it doesn't have to be, not everybody's going to be connected to that. For some of you, it could be that, you find yourself in a cycle of repeat, connecting to people who are emotionally unavailable, looking for a quick fix physically, or it could be that, these thoughts are intrusive and you're trying to make sure that you raise yourself up instead of tearing yourself down, okay? But I do see this energy of like recovery. But I mean, this card, I'm sending you a huge hug out there, so much love, because this can indicate that some of those thoughts you have bring extreme torment, okay? So I feel a lot of you trying to learn to be more compassionate with yourself, but you may have had experiences with somebody. For some of you, the King of Swords can be, traits of a narcissistic behavior. It doesn't have to be, but it could also be someone who has been very detached or unkind, or someone who has been cold, or mistaken your kindness for weakness, for example. And it can be that this thought is on your mind all the time, but I feel like you're moving away from this at this time, and I feel like you're on to bigger and better things there as well, okay? Now, the Eight of Swords is telling me more that it's about thoughts, okay? So again, this may not resonate with everyone, but the Eight of Swords can indicate that fear, anxiety, overthinking, and, negative thoughts can actually rob you of joy. And I feel a lot of you may have felt stuck in some way regarding a thought process that you will overcome. I want you to be aware of that. Even if this is you overcoming temptation for reaching for that extra coffee like I have every day, for example. Whatever it is for you, I feel like you are, stopping it in its tracks. The Judgment card indicates that you're reaching for something else in life that you feel is more in alignment with your sense of purpose, but also things that bring you joy. And in order to do that, you have to let go of the other thing that you feel is getting in the way, or is kind of like hurting you, or is creating some sort of blockage from you opening up to new experiences that actually bring a lot of fun and prosperity into your life. The Eight of Swords indicates you're releasing yourself from some sort of denial at this time as well. Now, Eight of Swords is also a card of you kind of like protecting yourself against something. So, I mean, for some of you, it could be that you're protecting your finances by saving there, or it can be that you're trying to protect yourself from over obsessive thoughts. I mean, we all go there at some point. This card can be an energy here of you trying to protect your inner peace, okay? Because the swords are all protecting this figure. There's no threat there. So this tells me that some of you may have been having nightmares, for example, and this could be connected to the world, or it could be connected to a family member, and maybe it can be in some way all connected, because everything is connected. So it could be that you've been having trouble sleeping, for example. For some of you, this doesn't have to be connected to anybody else, or even any sort of like obsessive kind of energy. It can be that you've been having, some dreams that have been a little bit concerning recently, or even insomnia for some of you. And it can come back to the fact that there may be something that you are either using or have made as a new addition to your life that is causing this disruption, as it were, in the flow. Okay, so please take it as it resonates. That's the energy that I've got coming through here, because it feels like it's something new, like a new addition, or a new thought, or a transformation, or something changed. And this is in your past. It feels like something monumental changed in your past. And, this can indicate that you're trying to move on from this process, because the next card is the Chariot card, but it's opposing the Devil. So it can indicate that, in general, and I'm a water element myself, my beautiful Cancerians. I'm a Scorpio, and I understand that whilst water is a very fluid energy, of course. If I know one thing about Cancerians and Scorpions, we don't particularly like change unless we are affecting change. So it could be that you are trying to feel secure in some changes that are happening around you, and you're trying to come out of your comfort zone, but at the same time you're holding on to the shore, as it were, or making sure that you're secure before you launch yourself into something new. And I definitely see that you are secure, and whatever it is that you launch yourself at, it's going to be successful, fun, enjoyable, and you're really going to have control over the circumstances. So again, I feel like there's nothing to worry about here. Okay. So for some of you with the Ace of Wands, it could be that you're identifying something that you've been worrying about, okay? And there could be a process where it's judged for some of you, and some of you could actually, speak to a practitioner or someone who's in a position of authority to help you overcome something, but you will be triumphant, whatever that is, okay? So this may not resonate for everyone, but I really get this energy of change and being on target with a really positive outcome. So that's definitely coming through here for you. Now, a lot of you could be looking at energy levels, because the Ace of Wands is all about energy, that spark. And for some of you, you may have felt that the world has changed, right? You've got the World card there, have to honor it because it is in the advice to yourself in this moment. And this can be to create balance and harmony in your life and recognize that what will be, will be. You're going to be in the right place and the right time to meet the right opportunities. And the outcome is very positive. Okay, celebratory, that card right there. But it can indicate that that's not going to stop you from worrying about something. So, for example, a couple of years ago, we all, as humanity, went through something major. And there could be like a ripple effect where you're trying to kind of like reconnect to your sense of self, overcome certain fears or anxieties that raise up from time to time, it could have made you view the world in a different way and maybe see through some structures that perhaps were not so obvious before. So a lot of you, this is the nature of transformation itself. Something new happened, something revolutionary happened, or different happened there, where it happened real quick with that energy. And it can indicate that for a lot of you, this is the potential for transformation and change, okay? But I feel with the Chariot card, it's a process that you're moving through at this time, and you may have had to make some adjustments, or you may have felt that it kind of like knocked you off your center or your sense of security, and maybe even made you feel disassociated from your sense of self with that Eight of Swords. It's almost like a lot of you could be soul searching right now. 8 is the number of the self, so it can indicate that somehow you felt that before you had this spark or this mojo or this motivation or this kind of like visionary creativity about you. It's still in there, okay? But it can be that circumstances outside of yourself actually transformed everything, and now you're learning to live in a new environment, still in the same body though, and it can indicate that you're trying to reconnect that spark or that passion in your life, and you will. Okay, because the Devil card, it's not an evil card. It can indicate that you rediscover your passions, but also it can indicate that you're identifying things that have bound you to a certain spot and almost like limited you in some way. Because this card can indicate that when we're rooted to the spot or we're bound to something that is not right for us, ultimately, you know, we feel like we're in the same place, not making any progress. But I can see here a lot of you will be breaking free or having a breakthrough and making that progress. But I feel a lot of you, there's this like, I don't want to say cocoon of safety or security, but with the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, it can represent that. And I feel a lot of you are trying to move on from that or move away from that, but sometimes the thoughts may drag you back, and you're trying to kind of like take more control over those thoughts in order to not revisit past experience, okay? That was negative, of course. The Chariot card is an intention card. It is in the potential position, which means you're moving forward and, you know, you're self-disciplined, you're dedicated, you're committed, and you will be victorious in where you pull your energy. So a lot of you, it can be that, you know, you are trying to reignite that spark or that lust for life, and it can be that you're going to have more vitality there. And I feel this is your energy kind of like revving up so that you're going to lead with passion and you're going to reach your goal, because the Chariot card is, as I said, an intention card, and it basically means you're taking the reins of your life, but also you're trusting the process. And the Six of Wands is basically success. It is an equivalent card. The Six of Wands and the Chariot card, they're often connected because there is this sense of moving through life and navigating your circumstances to come out on top and celebrate. And, you know, a lot of you could have been going through a very challenging transformation or transition at this point, but you're evolving. The Chariot card is always to evolve and move forward and go after something that you see as a prize in life. But also this can be that, you know, not only is your passion and drive returning, it means you need to drive out the old or leave it behind in some way. A lot of you are focused on your sense of destiny and purpose because that Judgment card is there as well. So I would say that after a period of feeling stuck in a rut or feeling like you're in the same circumstances, there is a shift and things are going to move at a quicker pace towards your goals. And sometimes that can be really thrilling, but also sometimes that can be really daunting because, you know, when things are changing, you're not sure of the direction, you're not sure how things are going to work out. So it can make you feel a bit anxious, and that's what that Devil card can indicate there. But the outcome tells me that you're feeling the fear and you're doing it anyway, and it's going to be worth it, okay? Now, the Devil card, it can be connected to the Eight of Swords, being bound to the spot or being bound to something that's negative to you. Now, this could be like you're dealing with a person who's passive-aggressive, for example, or it could be in the nature of communication with a person, because there are two people here, okay? And swords, they're about the mind, thoughts, but also communication. So it could be that you've been going round and round in circles on a conversation with a person who fails to see your point of view. I feel like you are learning to articulate your needs from a very healthy place, and eventually you will be seen. You will be understood by this person. But it can be frustrating or annoying that they are either failing to see, or they're so caught up in their own sense of ego that they have been kind of like dismissive, for example, of your thoughts or your conversation with them in some way. But I'm going to pull a card on the Devil card, because a lot of you, this can indicate that not only is there anxiety here because of the cards that are around there, I feel some of you, there is this energy of letting go of anger, doubt, obsession, but also because the Devil card is sometimes connected to a forbidden energy or a forbidden thought, for example, I feel I need to just pull some cards on that. I feel a lot of you, it's connected to temptation, you know, on anything that perhaps you've been trying to cut out, because there's so many swords there. But let me just pull a card on it to see. Can you please show me the Devil card? I mean, the Devil card can highlight where there is excessive thoughts, or where there is a need to release negativities in our life, a need to be more disciplined with our time, and look out for people who are manipulative, for example. You know, the Knight of Cups can indicate a call for compassion, but also this is understanding. So I feel a lot of you are learning to understand your thoughts, your mind, what you want in life. And because you care so much about the people around you, and also care so much about your goals and dreams, it feels like your feelings are amplified. And sometimes, you know, feelings can overcome us or feel overwhelming because we care so much. So I feel a lot of you are learning balance in that as well. But because the Knight of Cups is there, for some of you, this can be connected to you wanting to find love. For some of you, if you're single, I mean, there is an energy here with that Ace of Wands. There could be a spark between you and a person. Maybe you've already started connecting to somebody and it's very physical in nature, and you're wondering, like, where is it going? Because the Chariot card is like, what's the direction? Where are we going with this? And if you're asking that question, first off, there may be an answer in that, okay? I would say, let me see this, the Hierophant. Well, for some of you, it's heading straight towards love and marriage, okay? But the Devil card can be this obsessive energy. Like when you get into a relationship, organically, you know, very passionate, intense, you kind of like kind of lose yourselves in each other for the first 3 months, the honeymoon period. But then you start to think, okay, I'm invested in this now, especially since you got the King of Pentacles. It can be that you've invested in something and you're like, well, where are we headed with this? And, you know, if you feel like you're not getting the answers on where you're headed with this, there can be an opposite energy inside of yourself. You're like, well, it looks like we're headed towards, you know, dedication and a commitment. However, and I'm just mentioning this because the Knight of Cups is all about love and, you know, falling in love and attraction, but also the Hierophant is marriage or secure or like structure. I would say have faith in the relationship. Don't overthink it. I would say let it organically unfold. This person that you are connecting to has to really get to know you and see you for all that you are. And I feel this person does value who you are, but also I feel this person, they may have either had experiences in their past where they don't want to rush into a relationship. So when you know that you're in love, and of course this person would know also that they're falling in love, I feel the pace needs to be steady, as it were. Don't rush into things. I feel it will organically move towards the direction that you want. Now, this can be applied to any circumstance. It could be that you are overthinking something that you've applied for. Perhaps it hasn't happened yet. Everything that's really meant for you that's good in your life will take time, okay? So I feel don't overthink it, because I feel like you're heading in a direction to celebrate and accomplish your intention or your goal, okay? Now, I would also say here with the Knight of Cups, you have a call here to fall in love with your life again, to reconnect to things that bring you joy, things that attract your attention. And also, I feel you should really admire yourself, because you're a very strong person. And I feel with the Hierophant there, this is you believing in yourself, okay? Have faith that everything is going to work out as you plan it to. There are steps. Everything is a progress and a process as well. So I would say that you're building some sort of structure in your life that is secure. okay? Now, for some of you, if you are like married already to a person and there has been some conflict, or even if you're in a relationship with a person, doesn't have to be that you're married, it can indicate there's been some bumpy roads, okay? And of course, there has been some conflict or some sudden kind of like dynamics where people have lost their temper, perhaps. But I feel as long as it is something that is, because we all get a bit angry from time to time. If someone like bottles it up, it can be something that is really negative and becomes combustible. But I would say if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, then that is not love, and that is control, and that is not a relationship that you deserve to be in. So I feel if anyone is listening to that part, perhaps this is your time to move on from this and really like focus on your own needs here. But every relationship has a blip. Every relationship, there's like cross wires, and there's a need for understanding. And I feel if you're dealing with someone where you've just had some conflict recently, or there's been extra pressure going on, I feel both of you will come to an understanding where you can see each other and each side of the story, and you can actually repair it, okay? But a lot of you, we have this World card as your advice to yourself in this moment. So a lot of you are looking at endings in your life or completing lessons. And I feel like you've had some very tough lessons that you are completing on right now, and you're entering into a new era. And when we're in a transition period, that can be really challenging, okay? Often the universe will remove people or circumstances or events or even substances from our life that could cause a distraction before actually aligning you with, a bit of a glow up in your life, or aligning you with the thing that you desire most in your life. So I feel a lot of you, you're in a cycle of change right now, and distractions are being removed, and you're being called to look at your thoughts and how they impact your life. Remember, thoughts become things. And I feel that you are going to be in the right place at the right time to receive the right opportunities there. But a fresh new cycle, it will feel lighter. And I also feel that this is you coming into balance and alignment. And if you actually know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a victory wreath on that card. So I feel a lot of you need to celebrate your wins more, that you actually, do accomplish a lot in your life, but you don't stop to actually think about how you are achieving. You may be thinking about the worst case scenario, or, the negatives sometimes. And again, don't shoot the messenger. I can only tell you what the cards are coming up here and the energy that goes with it. Of course, we will always rethink the world, because when we look at what's going on in the world, a lot of volatile energy, a lot of negativity going on, and I feel a lot of you are trying to see the positives in your life and focus on your projects to make your part of the world a better place, okay? So I feel that you're locked onto that there. Also, I feel a lot of you could be contemplating new routes, or, moving, whether it's overseas. There's a lot of travel or movement here. The Ace of Wands is a spark, an opportunity to do something new, something maybe even creative. It doesn't have to be something that you relocate to, but because the Chariot card in the World is there, it can be that some of you are moving to a different part of the world right now, and you're a little bit nervous. Perhaps you feel that you may be stuck there, or you will lose contact with your network, for example. But I definitely see here that you will remain in contact with those people, but also I feel you will actually build new relationships in your future. Now we do have the King of Swords, and that is the circumstances outside of yourself. So this can indicate either a person who triggers you, as I mentioned, or someone who has been responsible for a dynamic with you, and it's caused a reaction, as it were, and now it's been a ripple effect, and you're trying to heal from this, and you will heal from this. But as this is an aspect of self as well, I feel like you're in a really powerful position to take control of your thoughts, but not in a way where it is obsessive. A lot of you, I feel like there is this build up to being inspired as well. When you get locked onto like a goal or an idea, and you take it to the next level, that you get so immersed in it that you're like lost in it. This passionate, obsessive energy can indicate that you get lost in something. And I feel there is a need to temper that and kind of like make sure that you give some time to you for self-care. Okay, that's coming out there as well. But King of Swords is strategy. It is often you being a very intelligent person, clear of thought, and there is this decision perhaps that needs to be made right now, and I feel like you need to be decisive about what it is that you want and factor in your own needs. And when I get this card, especially in the circumstances outside of yourself, this can indicate like rules, regulations, or some sort of structure that you're looking at or witnessing at this moment in time. And it has been on your mind, okay? There's something outside of yourself that has triggered some thoughts that perhaps have made you feel a little bit off kilter, but I feel like you will get back into balance because this card is your advice to yourself in this moment. And you're like, look, let's just take stock of the position you're in and create harmony and balance in your world. So also, some of you, you may notice, because the World card, whenever you get that with the Chariot card, it can indicate hormonal fluctuations. It could be that your mood has been changing because there is an influx of hormones, or perhaps there is a need for lymphatic drainage. I'm not sure what that entails or how it impacts the body in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a medical practitioner, so please take it as it resonates and look it up. But I feel for some of you, there could be a buildup of some sort of toxin in your body right now that is triggering, some sort of response in your body that gives you low mood, for example. There are shifts in hormones that kind of trigger different emotions, and it could be that you're identifying that at this moment in time. And the King of Swords can indicate some sort of practitioner or someone in authoritative figure energy that is qualified to give you advice on how to get back into balance and manage symptoms, for example, on something that perhaps you have felt has been hurting you in some way or making you feel off kilter. I mean, for some of you, if you are going through a cycle of change, especially if you are feminine energy, the Devil card can indicate hot flashes. For example, it can be like, woof, you're getting some fiery moments there. And it can be that you're trying to manage these. And to some degree, you may have managed them. But, there's a Nine of Swords there as well. It could be impacting your sleep. It can be that, you used to be so full of vitality, and now all the energy is pooling these kind of hot flashes, but you will conquer the symptoms and you will get the right advice. But perhaps some of you needs to judge the situation before you actually move forward on it, and that could be with the help of like a medical practitioner. So please take it as it resonates. Not everybody's going through menopause, but it can be something that is connected to the body, because that's your first card with that King of Pentacles. Now, the hope and a fear position, if you're having to make a decision on something, the Judgment card can indicate that, you need to take stock, take a moment of quiet and pause, protect your inner peace in order to see and hear the next steps of what your heart yearns to move towards, because the Judgment card can be a period of analysis. It often connects to the King of Swords because of this decisive kind of decision-making process. It is a self-evaluation card, which means you're at the fork in the road in your life, and in order to move forward, you must let go of something, okay, or you must purge something. Often on the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figures, like, they leave the coffin and they're embracing a new life. So it could be that something has ended in your life, or I'm being given this energy. It's very intense there. It's like, if it feels heavy right now, it's not because you're weak. It's because, it's expired and it's heavy because it's a dead weight. It's something that needs to be let go of in your life. So this could be a thought, could be a situation, an experience, a substance there. So I feel a lot of you are being encouraged to let go right now. But this Judgment card, it can also be that you're worried whether you're on the right path or not. I mean, a lot of you as well, this is a wake-up call. A lot of you are seeing things very differently right now, and it can be that it's locking you onto your sense of purpose, but it means that things are shifting. Relationships are evolving. It may feel like you're connecting to certain things from your past that just don't hit in the same way anymore. You used to be excited about certain things that perhaps you're not anymore, and this means that there is a major spiritual awakening upon you, and you're changing in frequency. You're elevating in your frequency, and there is enlightenment here, but it can be a very discombobulating experience where it feels like you're shedding, or it feels like somehow you're in a world that feels different, or the people around you are different, but actually you're different because you're the one who is elevating and being your authentic true self, and that means it shatters anything that is not authentic and true, okay? Now, also, a lot of you with that judgment card in this position, it can indicate that something has been blocked, or you feel there's been a stagnation in your life, but there is going to be movement forward. There's definitely movement, improvement, and progress here. But also, I feel a lot of you are conquering self-doubt. Got to be honest with the cards that I see there. Of course, there's always going to be a temptation to slip into it, but I feel like you are conquering it. And the Six of Wands is about more confidence, about standing out, allowing yourself to be seen in all your glory. You know, you cannot be Cancerians in the past, or even in the future. You can only be Cancerian right now. And I feel it's important to acknowledge that you're awesome, that you are a gift, and that, you know, you should shine in all your glory. So this is a card to allow yourself to be seen and step out there and shine your wonderful light. For Six of Wands energy, I would say, you know, it's like you get a win at life, but it was hard won. I feel a lot of you, you know, you've been through some stuff to get to where you are right now, and you maybe feel like you're moving through it, but actually you're going to come out the other side, and there's such a positive energy here. Obstacles are overcome, there's a triumph here, but also this is about you taking leadership of your life and also recognizing how far you've come. So I definitely see that there as well. But if you're dealing with a dynamic, I feel this is about you being seen, being appreciated. So a lot of you may have felt like you're investing so much in life, in people, in circumstances, and you may feel that you're not seen or appreciated. But, you know, the outcome indicates that you will be seen, you will be appreciated, and you will be recognized for all that you're doing. But you're not there to seek validation, okay? I feel like it's more that you're doing this for yourself, but acknowledging that it's nice to know from time to time that people get you, or they see you, or they understand what it took for you to do life, to be in the position that you're in right now. I'm just going to go and get some final cards before I close your reading. Like I said, one more, so I'll go one more. Okay, so also I would say a lot of you, this is about you guarding yourself against toxicity or negative people or anybody who brings you down. Now, we can't be happy all the time, of course. That's just not life. But I feel this is about you. I'm loving that. Look at that. Your final card is actually the tree. Stability, roots, grounding. Okay, so anyway, let's get to your cards. We got the shield. So this is about protection. I feel this is about you getting to a position in your life where you can drop that shield because it's been exhausting, okay? And it says here, guarded, defensive, resistant, and feeling vulnerable. So a lot of you may have been feeling a little bit vulnerable with the circumstances or your world or the world in general, but I feel like you're in a really good position. And I feel that there is security and safety in your circumstances. I mean, look at the anchor that's popped out there for you as well. Sometimes I have no clue what my guides are giving me when it comes to the reading. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know where this reading's going. I just have to trust the process. And then suddenly the last cards are really validating what went on here. And then everything kind of comes together. So it does say security and safety, achieving stability, unwavering dedication to something, and a strong bond, which is enduring. Okay, so all of that came out in your reading. But we also have the skull. So it can be that you're being vigilant. It's a final warning. You may be giving someone like an ultimatum. But also I feel a lot of you are just cutting things out that rob you of joy, or actually, you know, I'm just being given the word cleanse. So a lot of you could be going through a detoxification process as well and cutting things out for good. But it says, be vigilant, rebuilding from the ashes, final ending, and the warning. Now, the Devil card can also be a warning about anger or stress levels, especially if someone is triggering you. I feel a lot of you could be detaching because the King of Pentacles is an investment energy. It's like you're involved or it affects you. And the King of Swords is a detachment, not allowing anyone to affect your inner peace. So maybe that shield works both ways there as well. Now we've also got the panda. Gentle strength. I love this card. It's so beautiful. Okay. And it says personal boundaries, nourishment, and peaceful life. And I feel that came out in your reading, and it's something that you're aspiring to accomplish right now. And I feel that there will be reward in that in itself. But also I feel a lot of you have a victory coming in, something that you've been pushing through life to achieve. I feel like you shall have it. And you should be so proud of yourself there as well. And finally, we got tree. Now, the tree actually connects to wealth. So it's interesting that you start a card as the King of Pentacles with wealth, security, health, your body, and, you know, a need to stay focused and grounded in life. And then we've also got the final card, which connects to all of that. So it's a nice kind of like full circle. And that's what you wanted with the World card, for things to come full circle. And it says here, grounded, legacy, nature, life, and growth. Intense period of personal development and growth. And I would definitely say here that it's going to be very rewarding indeed. But sometimes, you know, a glow up is challenging to spiritually evolve. It's not an aha moment when you're sitting there doing a meditation. Sometimes, you know, transformation and a real breakthrough happens when you're going through chaos or challenge. And I feel like you've been through that, and now you're moving through it towards the rewards. Okay. I'm just going to go get a trinket or a rune before we go. Okay, so we got the camel. That's all about endurance, but also, thank you so much. I'm sure grateful. My guys are very funny. I just heard, have you got the hump with someone? Okay, so I'm not really sure what else to do with that. So I think if you are having a conflict with someone, I feel there is a potential to resolve this, but it's your prerogative, and you will walk away from this if it does not feel like someone you want to walk forward with in life. But the camel can be that you've been going through some challenging times. You know, the camel walks through the desert, so it can be that things have been sparse or have been just challenging. It's been a hardship, but I feel like you were built for this, and now you're coming out the other side, and I feel you have infinite resources to help you move through this period. And I actually feel that a lot of you may be looking at savings as well, being resourceful, because they always connect a camel to being prepared and being resourceful to weather any changes, or even, you know, be prepared for any weather. And I feel a lot of you are actually like that already. So yeah, I feel like you're in a really good position to weather any changes there. So I'll leave it there. Oh, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. Before I go, my guides said, you give a lot of yourself, make sure you retain some of that self for yourself. Don't neglect your own needs. Okay. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. Thank you so much, my beautiful Cancerians, and love and light.